Welcome to the BUYDAY Friday stream. How's everyone doing, man? Beautiful here, beautiful cloud cover. Just enough to allow us to be able to see this screen. So I dig it. I like it. We'll see who pops in here now in a second. Got a bit of news to cover. What's up, Tactical MIDI? What's up, Trusto? What's happening, brother? Twin Cities Oxygen? What's up? Weekend, baby. It's the weekend. We're here. We made it. I hope everyone got their pink cups, baby. We're out. We're about to buy something. I don't know, man. We're going to be looking through everything. We got a lot of stuff to go through. I'll tell you right now, man. This here is, I'm getting this 100%. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting this 100%. Nobody stopped me from getting this. And I hope they come out with the delay. I hope they come out with the friggin' whatever else. I want every Moger Foger that was ever friggin' made. I want Behringer to bring out the Booger Foogers, baby. Because I'll tell you something right now. The biggest mistake that Moog ever made, in my opinion, they made many. To be honest, I don't think there's a synthesizer company out there that just had the luck of the Irish to survive this long, making the drastic mistakes that they made. And one of the biggest mistakes was discontinuing making these Mooger Fooger pedals. And Behringer came in, they said, man, you know what? Everybody's asking for these. They cost a fortune online. So, you know what? We're going to bring it back. We're going to put those filter switches, as you see there in the top left, or whichever one side it is. We're going to put those filter switches up top. Okay? We're going to put them where they should be. Because Moog screwed up by putting them down the bottom. No, no, no. You want your knobs on the bottom. You want your filters on the top. Alright? Tactile MIDI. You'll buy one in 3 months. Hate to tell everyone. Well, we'll tell everyone. Once we get to the BUYDAY Friday moment, that's when we'll continue on. But until then, man, we got lots of stuff to get to. We've got the Booger Fooger. No naked flames allowed near that chest. You damn right, baby. This is what we call sterling silver, okay? Or some people might call it angel's hair gold. All right, because when my chest hair gets hit by those beautiful sun rays, it turns either sterling silver or angel hair gold. So you can go shave your chest and have baby chest all you want, man. I don't want no baby chest. I'm having man chest. I've had a man chest since I was in grade 6, so when I was in grade 6, I had full-fledged chest hair. I'm from Canada, and in Canada, baby, this is called survival of the fittest. In Canada, you got no chest hair, your parents are going to spend a crap load on winter clothes for you. I used to go to the bus stop in grade 6, 7, 8, middle of winter, Celsius, minus 32 degrees Celsius, a wind chill factor of about 38. I go to school in a t-shirt because I had chest hair. I didn't need to wear those big old marshmallow jackets like all you baby chests wear, okay? I don't need no big old North Face parka, okay? I don't need to spend $400 on a marshmallow jacket walking around looking like Buddy from Ghostbusters. I got this. I got the angel hair, baby. Anyway. All you baby chests out there. I'll tell you what, man. Baby chests might have been cool when you were in middle school. When you were in middle school going to the friggin' beach with all your boys and everyone looking at each other's chests and see you had the smoothest chest. Maybe baby chest was cool then. But this is 2025, baby. And chest hair is cool. So let's deal with it. Alright. Anyways, we got the Murf Box. You guys got me talking about chest hair. I'm trying to talk about the Behringer Murf Box, okay? I'm going to start calling my chest hair the Murf chest, baby. All Murfed up. Okay? $129 US MSRP. We'll get into that. But, man, let me switch over to my... let me get out of the champagne room and get over into the mobile setup. Here we go. So what we got here is we got the BM-15 Murf Box. Now, this was an iconic... let's call it an effects unit. But this is... It's got filters, it's got envelope control, it's an absolute monster. We can zoom in all day, all night on this thing, but I'll get into the specs in a little bit. And you know what? If any of you guys go, you know what, man, I already seen this video, I've seen it a million times. Well, guess what? You're going to see it 1,000,001. And if you don't want to see it, pop back in 10 minutes and we'll continue on with the show. But personally, I haven't watched this in full yet, so I'm going to watch it in full now. And I thank you for joining me. If this is your first time here, even if you got a baby chest, please like, please share, please subscribe. But I ain't begging no one for nothing, okay? I'm just saying please because my mama taught me manners. Do whatever you want. Okay, let's check out this video.
A joke about how this sounded like the Murf Box, but I convinced them not to. Ah, for f***'s sake. Here it is, the weirdly wonderful Murf Box. There's nothing else quite like it. A box full of analog circuitry with rich harmonic saturation and a tactile experience is something we know and appreciate now. But in the 2000s, when this pedal was originally launched, this type of technology was losing a fight against a digital revolution. But one creator—
And when you look at this thing first glance, you think it's small. Dude, this baby is a monster, okay? This ain't for broke boys, it ain't for weak boys, because this thing weighs probably— if I was to guess, I haven't even checked the specs yet, but this is probably a 10-pound pedal, bro.
They had different ideas. He saw the value in
Look
analog.
at the size of
when
it.
photographs came along, people would have been predicting—
Look at the size of it here. I'm going to have to get to the other screen just so you guys can see it. Wow, look at the size of this thing. Look at it. This is about the same size as Buddy's chest. That whole front of his t-shirt, that's how big this box is, okay? That's what's so cool. They didn't make them mini. They made them actually monsters. I dig it. Let me know what you think.
Death of paintings, but not the artists. They painted more expressively than ever before. Going against the flow, he released this obscure, abstract celebration of analog magic. Fewer and fewer products were being created with this level of analog complexity, and devices like this acted like a lifeline to the analog world, keeping its faint pulse.
Friggin' gorgeous. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. What does the Murf do? Yeah, let's hear what the Murf actually does.
Were the foundation of the analog revival that we've experienced in recent years. When people were curious to learn about these fascinating devices, this community greeted them with open arms. And this box played a huge part in the analog resistance. There's a joke about resistors in there somewhere, but I couldn't quite in on it.
Man, I gotta tell you, I don't
Sadly,
know.
the Fuga dynasty ceased production.
Is it just me, or does Behringer have the absolute friggin' greatest demo guys in the whole entire game? Nobody's got the demo guys like Behringer. Nobody's got the charisma that these cats got. No one has got the humor. I love it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because it's my kind of humor. I don't know. But I think it's absolutely fantastic.
In 2018. And like the Tesla that launched into space that year, the price soared astronomically, taking this wonderful celebration of analog out of the hands of everyday musicians, producers, and gear lovers, and reserving it for the collectors. But you won't let it die, will you? Like an adoring crowd screaming for an encore, you want it back on stage.
Right.
So here it is.
I mean, I don't know who wrote the copyright for that, but like an adoring crowd, you wanted this box back on the stage. And guess what? Behringer and all the beautiful people over there brought this back for you. Because I even heard some boys. I watched Pro Synth Network a little earlier, and I gave it some time, okay? Pro Synth Network is the appetizer, all right? But now you're here for the grass-fed, full ribeye steak, okay? This is an absolute friggin' monster. Maybe one of the greatest recreations that Behringer has ever done. And I can say that honestly because when I'm looking at this thing, gut instinct tells me this is going to sound amazing, it's going to look amazing, it's going to feel amazing, and not only that, when you play it, you'll probably feel amazing and more amazing than you did than before.
Okay, there's not really an easy way to describe what this thing does. This is what we've got. First up, and crucial to understanding what on earth is going on, is this 8-band array of resonant filters.
Now listen, we're not skipping on through this thing, so anybody who's got ADHD out there, drop into house, grab a ashwagandha, pop back out, sit down and relax, because we want to know what the Murf does, okay? Because we're not out there just screwing around. We're actually trying to use these instruments. As you can see, we're not just doing gear demos. We're not just talking about gear. And I'm not just speaking for me, I'm speaking for you guys and all the synth renegades out there. We're not doing that. We're out here talking about it, making music, doing demos, talking jive, getting in rackets. We're at it all. And this right here is where you sit back on a Friday afternoon, we get all gassed up, we have a great time, and then we buy something. And that's how BUYDAY Friday works.
You'll notice you can flick the frequencies of these bands between bass and mid. As you can hear, you can dramatically alter a sound. Already pretty powerful, but that's just first gear.
That's
now
first
comes
gear.
the animation module, and this generates patterns for each of these bands to fire off.
That's coming up. We don't need to rush it. I told you. Synth Samurai TV is not fast food, okay? If you want fast food, if you want that quick 5-minute hitter, you know, that you don't feel good after, go watch Midlife Synthesis or one of those shows, okay? Those highly edited, epilepsy-inducing, chop-cut videos that are just a commercial for a synth. If you want that, go watch it. But this is slow cooking. This is that pork belly, okay? What are we saying here? We got, I don't got my chat on the screen because I'm on the laptop outdoors, but we got Twin Cities Oxygen says, I was talking to Uli. He said, Synth Samurai, if you want to be a Behringer rep, you're going to need a shirt and shoes. I got a fur shirt, dude, okay? I got a fur shirt. And the bottom of my feet is so rough, it's like I'm always wearing a pair of moccasins, okay?
Now things are moving, and this motion is really the magic of this box, but still not the end. Add into the mix a colourful preamp with dedicated drive control, an LFO that can modulate the filter's centre frequencies, creating phaser-like sweeping effects, and now you're cooking on gas.
Look at the size of it! Look at the size of it, man. I gotta write, I gotta see what the bars are at. Hold on a second. Echo. Are you eating biscuits instead of watching the show? Heart, cupcake emoji, kiss emoji, red rose emoji. Alright, sweet. Let's see if Echo's finished his biscuit and he decided to come over to take in the show. Let's continue. Fur shirt, baby. That's what I got. I'm the Murf Box. I'm a human Murf Box.
You can also manipulate the envelope, going from a staccato to legato style transition between filters.
Legato all day. Gelato, legato, macchiato. Now we're going to watch the amazing UBXA 16 voice polyphonic analog synthesizer with poly aftertouch, 8 voices of atrophy, an absolute gem of a recreation with more. Always Behringer gives you more. If they don't give you more in a lower price, they're going to give you more in a lower price and some more Easter eggs built inside. Usually better sound. I mean, if not better, just equal or a little bit under. That's what I'm a synth squatch. All furred up.
This thing is wild. If you've ever got an idea or a sound and it's not
8 voices of atrophy, baby. Harmonic sonics, that's what we're talking about.
quite there, or maybe it's missing something, then just try throwing this at it and see what happens. It's kind of like saying shoot your painting with a paintball gun, but honestly, sometimes these things just need a little extra Murf.
You need a little more Murf, so what'd they do? Like I just told you, what did I just tell you? Watch this.
Shoot your painting with a paintball gun, but honestly, sometimes these things just need a little extra Murf.
Boom.
You need something sturdy to keep all that madness inside, and you've got it in the form of this metal and wood enclosure.
Metal and wood enclosure. You hear that? Metal and wood enclosure, baby. This is what we're talking about. Everybody talks about it, but nobody wants to be about it and admit the fact that Behringer has the most well-made, highest quality, most durable synthesizers within the price ratio dynamic. Okay? Within this price ratio dynamic, you're paying, I might pull up Reverb in a second. We'll see how much one of these bad boys go for. If you're paying $169 for that and it's metal and wood, come on.
And they've really considered its presentation, covered in little details that pay homage to the original. Scooch around to the back and you are presented with this. I mean, that's some...
I'm down with the man. Bro, I used to have a man bun. I wish I could pull it up. Maybe I'll pull it up later. I had such a huge man bun, it was gigantic. I didn't have the mini man bun. I had a real man bun. My hair was about down to here. I'll put up a picture. Not only did I have a huge man bun, when I was done having a man bun, you know what I did? I took that man bun, put it up high, and I chopped it off, and I got it in a bag upstairs in the closet. And if you don't believe me, I'll go get it.
Serious I/O for an already powerful box. Where to
Gas
begin?
and work, baby.
This section
Gas
is going
up.
to let you do a whole bunch of things. You can control parameters with an external CV input, expression pedal, or MIDI.
We got a question from the chat. Twin Cities Auction, what's the price? Funny you should ask. I got the price right here. Hold on. It's funny you should ask. Here's the price. At Sweetwater, right now, you can go order your own for $179 and 00 cents. Behringer is not playing these silly little games where they go and charge you $179.99. No, Behringer's saying we're charging you $179.00 because we know you're not stupid. We don't need to play psychological games where we put on 99 cents so you actually think that it's cheaper. No, they're just telling you the price with a 00. Thank you very much, Uli. Thank you for respecting my intelligence and knowing that I don't get fooled by these amateurish marketing psych tricks.
And you can even split your output signal into stereo. Stereo is really interesting on this one. It splits the filters across left and right.
That
Take
ain't
a
bad.
listen.
That's real price.
The CV control just makes this already insane box.
The control on the back is crazy. So this is the other beautiful thing about this crazy little Booger Fooger. This Booger Fooger box, they're probably going to make them all. So if you were ever somebody who wanted to collect a whole set of Mooger Foogers, and it was gigantic, you fill a whole friggin' dining room table with them. They're that big. Look at the size of it right there. You can tell. Let me switch screens so you can see it again. Look at the size of it. The thing is gigantic. If you look at that and compare it to, it's about the same height as this whole guitar. Not only that, it's a thick one. So I'm getting this. I already pre-ordered. I called my god today. We'll talk about that later. Stay tuned for the BUYDAY Friday announcements because they're going to be rolling in real soon.
It's just that little extra wild, and I'm here for it.
Me too.
Here, the LFO from Neutron is controlling the rate, switching between a fast and slow cycle through the filters. So for this setup, we're using the LFO in the Neutron synth and outputting that into the envelope CV input on the BM-15M. So as I play, the sound you should hear transitioning between is like a very rigid jump between filters, and then it should morph into...
I also want the ring Mog Fugger. Messing with the Wave 2 right now. Sweet. Harmonic Sonics, what's going on, baby? We got the Electronic Composer. We got Summer of Synths. I can't support Uli Insanity. It don't matter if you support it. Doesn't matter at all. There's so many friggin' supporters of Behringer out there now. The truth has finally been broken. We did it. We took the reins. We smashed through the baloney. We broke the boycott. And now, due to the synth renegades and the movement that's been created, finally Behringer has a voice on GearTube. Finally nobody's scared to go into comment sections and say the beautiful word Behringer. Hey guys, did you see the new Behringer product? It's so awesome. Shadow ban. Deleted from chat. How dare you say the name we shall not say. That's the kind of crap I used to see in these weird comment sections. I'd go in and watch a synth show, and up would come, I'd be in the comments or the live stream just checking it out, and someone would be like, the synth we cannot name. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And then I'd see someone come in and be like, hey, did you see the amazing new synth Behringer just released? It's friggin' nuts. And then one of those blue wrench collectors would go, time out. No Behringer spam. And it's like, he wasn't spamming. He just came in here to ask if you guys saw the new product. And all the maniacs out there, all the lunatics who got sucked up into boycott hypnosis, well, guess what? The spell is broken. Wake up. It's over. You're allowed to like this company now. Not only are you allowed to like it, you have no choice but to like it, because they're amazing products at insane prices, and they're non-stop. I do a running count every year. I think last year they released 12 synthesizers. This year they're probably already up to like 4 or 5. No company is giving you this much variety. No company is listening to the customers when they ask for a firmware update. They give it to you in 2 days. Look what happened with the Pro 800. The Pro 800 came out. Not only did they recreate it identically to the Prophet 600 or 6, whatever the frig they cloned it from. Not only did they make it exact, they actually gave you more, okay? They gave you 2 more voices, polyphonic aftertouch, and what did they do? They made the envelopes exactly the same. Shitty, with no snap. And you know what happened? All the Behringer bros got online. They were like, hey fellas, any chance you can like jack those crappy envelopes out of this thing and put in some good ones? We know you did a perfect clone. Probably the greatest clone of all time sound-wise. Identical. Actually better because there's 2 more voices, so it sounds even fatter. Not only can you do that, can you actually put in some snappy envelopes for us? Because that's what we really want, rather than this old vintage junky thing. Know what they did? 2 days later, boom, firmware update. There you go. There's your snappy envelopes. Bam, just like that.
Do a smoother transition between the filters and then back again.
We got the Murf Bros up in the house tonight.
Amongst this plethora of I/O, you may have also noticed this USB-C.
Trusto, imagine putting this, imagine you running this, dude. Imagine running this, the HydraSynth through this, dude. Imagine running your Moog Sub 37 through this thing, okay? Imagine running your MC707 through that thing. Okay? Imagine running your Solar 42F Beauty through that thing. Okay? You can run anything through this and it makes it sound insane and completely out of this world. Different at a minimum, but usually way awesome.
USB-C lets you connect the pedal up to the Guitar Tribe application. Here you can make presets and do firmware updates, but not only that, and this one is really good fun, you can create your own custom patterns and load them into Murf Box.
So while I was running my mouth there, in case you all missed it, This thing has a sequencer. Not only that, you can run your own patterns through it. Okay? I mean, sometimes you got to glaze it. Sometimes you just got to bake it and leave the glaze off, like one of those beautiful apple cider donuts you get at the country farm.
Make your music move with this analog behemoth. Behringer BM-15M Murf Box.
All right, so there we go, man. That is what I'm talking about. If we jump over here, we can get a little more in-depth look at what's going on with this thing. Depends if you guys want to do it or not. I don't know. Maybe we should just like sit here and think about and talk about how awesome this thing is. So let me tell you something. I don't get excited about much, okay? But when I do get excited, it's because of a product like this. Products like this only come around every so often. But the beautiful thing about this time is we've got Behringer. And Behringer allows us to jump in our DeLorean, go back to the future, and pick up products that companies have just stopped listening to their customers and stopped making them. You got Roland customers out there crying, okay? They're crying for some old analog recreations. They're begging for it. And what do they get? They get this thing. You got Roland customers begging the beautiful Japanese, will you please recreate the SH5? Will you please recreate it? And they're like, no. So Behringer says, here's the MS5. You got people out there begging for an affordable ARP synthesizer from whatever that company's name was. ARP, I think it was. They're begging for it. They didn't give it. And so Korg said, we'll make it. We'll do it. And then Behringer said, yeah, you're going to do it, but you're going to charge everyone too much. We're going to do it, and we're going to give you a beautiful Behringer 2600 for $499 max. Okay? That's what we're talking about. That's BUYDAY Friday prices, all right? Not looking to go out here and pay $2,000 for an ARP 2600 clone. Okay, because it's not an original. The Korg, some people don't even know, but the Korg one is not an original. There's a lot of new synth people out here, so sometimes you got to break it down properly. I know most of you guys know everything about synthesizers. You've heard it all. But we got a lot of newbies. We got a lot of new synth renegades, so sometimes you got to break it down. And Korg's ARP synthesizer, the 2600, that's not the original. That was made from the original company, okay? But Behringer was the first company to make it where it can actually be bought by the everyman, where it can be bought by the working man, where it can be bought by the guy who's out there painting for 18 hours a day or 19 hours a day, and who gets home and he's got to play with his kids, and then he's got to spend some quality time with the missus, if you know what I mean. But in between there, he's also got to eat dinner, and then he's also got to do a couple honey-do things that are on the list, okay? And once he gets all that done, everybody's settled down for the night. He knows he's got to wake up at 3:30. He knows it. And he knows that he's willing to sacrifice 2 to 3 hours of sleep to get upstairs, take the bonus check he just got from working his butt off, and buy a Behringer 2600 for $500. And the beauty of that purchase is, because of the life scenario this man is in, he could take that money, put it into his kid's college account. He could take his missus on an all-inclusive vacation to Cancun that she always wanted to go on. Because he was smart. And because a company out there looked out for the working man. They said, you know what? Do you know what? It's not just going to be rich people who get to play these beautiful instruments. It's not just going to be the elite. Because we know that there's tons of blue-collar musicians out there that are just loving sound, love quality, and they just want to have the ability to get upstairs in the spaceship when everything quiets down and just let go. And that's what Behringer does for the everyman. And that's why people hate him. Because all these things used to just be, they just used to be goat masks, okay, for the elite. It was something they could tell people they got at a party. Have you heard? I picked up the new Prophet 5. Can you believe it? I got it. It's 25 years old, barely works, but I got the first oscillator going, but you're not going to believe what I paid for it. You're not going to believe it, Nigel. I paid $45,000 for the broken Prophet 5, mate. Nigel looks at him and is like, are you serious? I was also going to buy that, but what I did is, I went and bought the whole Moog 500 Model 10 set. I've got it all. I've got a $150,000 synthesizer I just bought. Corey, I know you're happy with your purchase, but mate, this $150,000 broken, dusty, still sounding great synth for the parts that work is way better than your $25,000 Prophet 5, Nigel. Alright? We ain't doing that. You know what I'm doing? I'm heading to a barbecue. Okay? I'm going to a barbecue on Sunday afternoon. And I just worked an 18-hour shift on Saturday. I'm getting to the barbecue at Sunday afternoon. I'm rolling up. I'm saying, what's up, bro? Echo, what are you at, baby? Echo's like, you're not going to believe it, dude. I just got 12 synthesizers for like $500. I got them all set up in the house, man. I got the best spaceship going. Not only that, I got at least another $2,000 left over this month for the missus to buy tons of flour to bake biscuits. Okay? I'm just joking, Echo. I'm the biscuit king. Everyone knows I'm the biscuit king. Echo, relax. It's a joke, okay? But anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm rolling up to a barbecue, and I'm like, bro, I just bought the Behringer 2600. I got it used for $300. He's like, are you friggin' serious, dude? I got that too. And I got it for $300 too. No, he looks at you and he's like, I paid $400, but dude, I'm so pumped that you got it for cheaper. The Synth Renegades and the Behringer Bros, we congratulate our brothers for getting a deal. We don't get on our knees because our buddy spent $80,000 more than us, okay? Just so he could be the guy at the party, sipping on some wine, acting like he's the cock of the walk. It's a synthesizer, bro. Okay? It's a synthesizer, bro. So when Echo goes and gets a deal like he did the other day, $399, he bought the PWM Malevolent, arguably the greatest analog synth that the synth mafia refuses to talk about. The boss, PWM's a small company. You understand this? PWM's a small company with a legendary story. Okay? A legendary CEO. Legendary company. And they had the legend, Chris Huggets, working with them on their synthesizers. Chris Huggets, everybody talks about freaking Bob Moog. Everybody talks about Tommy Oberheim. Alright? Everybody freaking talks about Davey Boy Smith. Yeah, we respect what you did, no problem. But you're not the only ones. You're not the only ones. And one man whose face shall be on Mount Synth Rushmore is Chris Huggets. And you know what? I personally think he should be the biggest face. But anyways, PWM, they don't have a massive budget. They sent out these synths to the synth mafia during the synth tsunami. You know what happened? You know what happened? You get a freaking dude playing an organ patch. Okay? You get a dude, I watched Echo Craft stream the other night. You get a dude spending PWM, synthesizer, retail, $1,300. They send it out to the synth mafia for their tsunami of marketing, all at the same time. And what did that guy give them? He gave them a 30-minute organ patch. So when I was checking out PWM as a company, I said, you know what? There's something going on here. Everybody's talking about Moog flat out. Everybody's talking about Arturia. Everybody's talking about sequential and Oberheim's TE05. Oberheim puts out nothing. TE05 comes out. Everyone goes apeshit. So everybody's talking about that, and I'm like, why is nobody talking about the PWM? Why is nobody talking about the PWM Malevolent? What's up, Echo Crafts in the house? What's happening, buddy? Thanks for that $1.99. You know, every stream, all we try to do, we set the bar low. We try to get $14 so I can go get an Italian sub with extra mayo. It's just a running joke. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So anyways, we try to set the bar at $14, okay? No more. $14 so I can pick myself up an Italian sub, extra mayo, oil and vinegar, salt and pepper, no olives, works, extra hot peppers, and 2 canisters of ketchup so I can dip the butt ends of the stuff into when I'm done. Alright, Echo, thanks for throwing me off my tangent. Anyways, let me chill out. So we're talking about the PWM Mantis and the PWM Malevolent. The thing about these two synthesizers are the Malevolent is absolutely extraordinary. I got it upstairs. Take it from me. I did a demo. I did another demo the other day, but I put it unlisted. Might release it later. This synthesizer in development, this is the exact quote, sort of, almost exact. They took the filter of the PWM Malevolent and they tried to make it so stable, but yet held on by the edges to the point where you feel like this filter might just pop off and you don't know what it's going to do and it'll blow your mind. So I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, man, every time I turn it on, I feel like it's broke. When I turned it on up there, I had to think about that comment, and I feel like that was a comment straight from the synth gods, a download to me, and it was like, you know what, when you get this thing, somebody just told you they always feel like it's broke, but they didn't sell it. They still got it. So I was like, well, wait a minute. If you think this thing is broke, you would have either tried to fix it or you would have got rid of it. But what that tells me is there's an undercurrent under there. And then I went and listened to that interview, and it said they tried to make that filter on the PWM Malevolent so gorgeous, but also hanging by a thread. So I'm telling you, when you're sweeping that filter on a bandpass with drive at 50%, resonance at 1/3, okay? And you got a bandpass on that beautiful baby, and you start sweeping that filter, at about 8 o'clock, it feels like the filter breaks, and you keep going. But then you stop for a second, and you're like, what just happened there? So you've already like disrupted your flow, and then you keep turning, and you're like, oh yeah, and then it goes, okay? Then what happens? It hits something again, and you're like, what? This is at like 1 o'clock, and you're like, what? And it keeps going. And when it hits that shag point or that point of breaking free from everything, it jolts you because it's so out of touch with the frequency. And then I'm telling you, when you got the drive wanked up, and then you went, and now you're going. So now you've realized this, and now all things are flashing back. The conversation I had with the dude where he was like, I feel like it's broke every time I turn it on, but he still has it. I was like, oh, remember that, because now I'm feeling like there's something wrong. So I messed around with it for an hour and a half, 2 hours, might have been 12 hours when I was done. I left feeling like I felt drunk when I left. I called Hans and I was like, bro, I just finished playing the Malevolent, dude. And this is no kayfabe. When I talk to Hans one-on-one, zero kayfabe, dude. We're just like, I'm talking not even joking, all right? I'm talking mano-y-mano. Question will come. I am expecting, due to our mutual agreement of 100% pure, unadulterated respect, that when I ask you a question, you're going to give it back to me with full enthusiasm and honesty, okay? And vice versa. So that's just some context for when I was like, bro, this Malevolent is so insane that I just walked down the stairs and I felt like I was drunk. That's how much the frequencies like cut through every cell in my body. It discombobulated me. I was like, what is going on? So anyways, a day goes by. I call up the Machines One. I'm like, bro, listen, I got to talk to you, man. I need to go on a live with you right now, and I need you to listen to this filter, and I need you to let me know when I'm sweeping through this, bro, what is happening, because my mind is not able to process what's happening with the Malevolent filter, okay? I call the Machines One. I'm like, bro, you ready? He's like, I'm always ready. I'm like, I knew it. Went upstairs with the professor, whacked on all the stuff, opened her up, man, plugged it in. Boom. He gives it to me. The pure, unadulterated, modular download. He was like, all right, bro, here we go. He's got the whole patch schematic pulled up on his friggin' 68-inch screen TV so he can see, zoom in on everything. We start talking. I was like, all right, here we go. You tell me what to do, all right? You're the muse. I'm the man. Give it to me. So he's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. He's like, first, we're going to go through the low-pass filter. He set me up with all the settings. Perfect. Everything is just jiving sweet. And he's like, all right, now sweep the filter. And I start sweeping the filter. Just first time, I was like, I'm not giving him the satisfaction of me stopping at that beautiful, I'm going to call it an accident, but it's like if you have a child, when it happens, you might think it's an accident, but then after it is revealed to the earth, you're like, that was no damn accident, dude. That was insane, okay? So I asked him, and he goes, this is what we're going to do. So I swept through the filter, but I didn't take a break when it hit that like portal, and then I kept going, boom, all the way back to zero. He was like, I was like, what do you think? I could see his face was the beautiful thing. He was thinking. I was like, oh, okay, this is for real. It's not just me now. He's thinking. He goes back. He's like, dude, that filter sounds awesome, but it was like he missed the point. I was like, all right, let me do this for you again. So give me a new patch. He's like, just put that through the bandpass and then turn the drive up to 50%. And I was like, okay. And he's like, but start the resonance now this time. Start it at 9 o'clock instead of like the bottom. So I did it. Then I started passing through it. I was watching his face through the screen because I didn't care what was going on there. I wanted to see his face so I could like, and his eyes glazed over. He like kind of like looked off into the distance. He wasn't even looking at me anymore. I was now watching him from above. He didn't even know I was there. And I watched him listen as it went through and came back. But this time, once it got to each breaking point where that filter felt like it was going to let go, I'd stop it there and go and wiggle it a little bit, and then I'd keep going all the way down. Then once it hits the low one, that's what it sounded like. And then he was like, after when it stopped, he was like, holy crap, dude, that was, and I was like, what do you think of that filter? Is it broken? He was like, no, dude. I went and read a ton about this thing, because what Machines did, I preempted him. I was like, bro, I need to talk to you later. Once again, I'm coming to you with a topic, dude, that is real, and this isn't this is pure business. And he was like, I'll be ready. So when we finished this little experience, he goes, I went and read the history of everything to do about the company, the synthesizer. He's like, I studied the friggin' schematics. I know everything about it. And when I read all these interviews, you can't even get on the internet. I think he had to go down to the Silk Road, okay, in the synthesizer dungeon and dig up this friggin' cassette interview. But he said when he listened to it, all they said was, I'm paraphrasing him who was paraphrasing the tape. So it could be a little, he was like, this thing was created with the sole purpose of giving you the most stable, chaotic situation you could ever have. It was there to allow you to never fully ever be able to catch the dragon. All right, you be chasing it. One night you got it, next night you don't. 1 minute you got it, next minute you don't. 1 second you got it, next second it's gone. But the second you had it, totally mind-blowing. So that is why I'm telling you right now, everybody out there should go and buy a PWM Malevolent ASAP. You can pick them up for like $3.99 at Guitar Center. Echo bought one last night. We were talking about it. I was like, Echo, buy it, bro. And he's like, let me check. Boom, $399. Brand new Guitar Center. Echo got it. Okay? So you can get them for $399, and if you ask me, there's no synthesizer on planet Earth right now, especially no analog synthesizer on planet. And I'm a Behringer bro. You know I'm a Behringer bro through and through. There is no synthesizer on planet Earth right now that even comes 1 light year close to the value, the sonic power, the insanity of the frequencies you can create, okay, and the mind-melting modulation capabilities that this will send through every damn cell in your body for $399. You ain't finding that anywhere. All right, let's check the chat. What about the multi-poly? Who do we got here? Who said that? Hold on, I got it. What about the multi-poly? Multi-poly? What do you mean, what about it? What do you mean, what about it, dude? What about the multi-poly? Is that a serious question? The multi-poly is synthesizer of 2025. Now, don't get me wrong. The PWM Malevolent, as I just said, is the greatest analog synthesizer on planet Earth right now that you can buy in the price ratio dynamic. Because that's how we're scoring it. That's how we're scoring it these days. Within the price ratio dynamic. Build quality, cost, sound, entertainment. That's the scale. And it's all within that. And that's how we're operating from here on out. Nothing beats that in the analog synthesizer category. Now, if we're talking about digital, DJ Wojtek, was that you? If we're talking digital, dude, if we're talking digital, the Korg Multi-poly, I don't think there's ever been a synthesizer made right now where the shock that you will get if you've been talking crap about this thing and you actually go and buy it and plug it in, the shock that will come over you will send you to the hospital. Because it's that far off of all the Synth Mafia demos. Garbage. Complete trash. Don't even watch them. And the people that did watch them are the ones who have this thought in their brain, this dirty Synth Mafia worm that bored, okay, into the frontal cortex and sent you for a loop. The multi-poly, when you turn that thing on, they got the first patch just for your enjoyment on Tom Sawyer. An analog modeled patch straight from Oberheim with the analog modeled SEM filter, the analog modeled envelopes. They analog modeled anything they could analog model in there except for the freaking plastic, okay? That's the only thing that's not analog modeled in this thing to perfection. When you play the first patch, that Tom Sawyer patch, you know. You're like, okay, I know now. If they did this good with this digital synthesizer that you can get for $8.99, every single thing on this thing is amazing. Not only that, I got the module. Screw the keyboard. Get the module. On the module, it's got polyphonic aftertouch built in, okay? So if you've got a HydraSynth Deluxe, a HydraSynth, an Osmos, a Behringer UBXA, maybe a Waldorf Quantum, if you've got one of those as your MIDI controller, you can automatically maps to polyphonic aftertouch. And now you're gone. Stratospheric. Now you're gone stratospheric in entertainment factor. Then you put in that it's 4-part multi-timbral. Put in the fact that it's 4-part multi-timbral. That is when it gets really crazy. All right? Because if anybody knows anything about timbrality, a 4-part multi-timbral synthesizer is special. It just is. And it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which one. Any 4-part multi-timbral synthesizer is special just for that reason. Okay? And this one's 4-part. Not only that, it's got 64... I think it's 64 voices per part. Could be wrong. Okay? all 4 parts operate independently on their own sequencing 2.0. If you know anything about Korgs, you know about it. If you don't, I'm not explaining it. Motion sequencing 2.0. You got 4 of those, okay? 4-part multi-timbrality. You got filters, 2 of them. You can run in serial or parallel on either part. Do you understand? I don't want to say this because this might sound crazy. It might have 16 LFOs per voice. It might be something crazy like that. I can't even remember now. It's one of those crazy terms that I'm not even into it enough to be able to understand. Like once the specs go past a certain percentage, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I got what I need. The rest I'll just absorb through osmosis. Because you know when you're going down those steps in the schematics, or not schematics, specifications, and you're reading everything, and then on top of reading the specifications, you got to read like the Sweetwater copyright, which makes you think you're reading like Shakespeare, born in 4027. The Oberheim filter has stratospherically changed the dynamics of planet Earth to the point where when the resonance kicks in and meteors fly from left and fly from right and angels come from the earth came forth wearing red gowns and full crowns. And you're like, hold on. How many keys are on this thing? You're like, what? How many? What? Wait a minute. That's when you read the specs of Sweetwater. Let's do one right now. Let's see what this said. This one's probably not like that crazy, but let me just get one. And I'll read it to you and you'll just be like, you'll just crack up. Hold on. Let me get a good one. Let me get the, let's get the Moog Messenger. Let's read the copyright on that. So this is how Sweetwater, I got it pulled up here. So if you scroll down. All right, here we go. All right, so like I just said, I came to the specs to see, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. How many keys is the friggin' thing? Does it got polyphonic aftertouch? How many filters? How many envelopes? All right, just give me a little bit. Does it got a resonance bass boost? How many LFOs? What's the inputs? What's the outputs? What friggin' color is it? But yet I got to get through this. Yeah, straight shillbilly. Let me get through this copyright and you just tell me how crazy this is. So this is what happens when I'm reading it. Like I just said, it takes me into some fantasy land and I just got to like snap out of it. Formidable sound engine. Under the hood. Messenger is a state-of-the-art modern monosynth packing 2 muscular variable wave-shaped voltage-controlled oscillators with wave folders, sync and FM. A variable wave-shaped sub-oscillator and white noise generator, as you would expect, given its historic lineage. A mod squad bona fides. Messenger also features an updated version of the famous ladder filter, modified to deliver multi-mode filtering, implementing a novel pole mixing design that allows for 4-pole low pass, 2-pole low pass, band pass, and high pass responses. Messenger's ladder filter offers multiple filter slopes, powerful resonance bass boost, compensating for generating epic weapons grade bottom end. In a new twist, the legendary ladder filter, the res bass switch now lets you toggle between traditional low pass and ladder. I'm like, okay, I'm already gone past the point of. I'm gone past the point of like even know what this guy's talking about anymore, because now I feel like I feel like 20th Century Fox symbol is supposed to like start zooming towards me at the screen. So that was just paragraph 1. All right, creative powerhouse. Here at Sweetwater, keyboardists, producers, and music creators of all stripes are giddily diggling into every Moog Messenger has on tap to complement the potent, sound-shaping capabilities of its ladder filter. Moog outfitted Messenger with a pair of loopable ADSR envelopes and 2 LFO One offers a sync and a reset, plus an independent modulation wave folding FM filter. This triangle wave is hardwired to the mod wheel. And round table to multiple destinations. Oscillator 2 offers expandable frequency and an audio rate modulation options, further extending this palette of possibilities. The tongue twister of the century for introducing motion into static sounds. Okay, this is like, again, when I'm reading this, I'm just like, holy mother of God. Who was writing the copyright for this thing? It ain't for the friggin' synth bro, or maybe it is because I just blast off into space and suddenly I feel like I've landed on some obscure planet and I just pulled into a friggin' a conference center on this obscure planet. I walked in and there's a giant alien giving me a friggin' promo from a 3D holographic image as I'm walking into the hotel. And I'm like, what is that? Moog Messenger? Alright, so let's get off that for a minute. And I think I had this one here. I had the friggin' Sonicware Live in. And this is where we get to now. Now we're coming into dessert, baby. The BUYDAY Friday, big reveals. What are we going to do? Down in the chat, you let me know, man. After today, I mean, I tried to glaze the donut the best I could today. And I think that after all that, we're all ready to buy something. That's my opinion. So let's check it out. We've got the Evoke from Sonicware Live. This thing, $239, no battery. $259, you get a battery with it. How do I know? Because I bought one. How do I know this sounds good? Because I bought one. How do you know it sounds good? Because I gave you the 3 to 4 best Sonicware Live and demos you've ever heard in your whole entire life on my channel. 3 best, and I think there might be 4 or 5. And if you don't believe me, go check them out. Not only did I demo the sound, I took it outside and demoed it outside. I added multiple synthesizers to it and created jams with it. Okay? And not only that, I gave you my absolute most pure, honest opinion you would ever get from anybody telling you anything about a synthesizer. I always pretty much tell you it's awesome, because I only buy ones I think are awesome. And the ones that I look on the internet about, they look awesome. So that's my track record. Everything I've bought sounds amazing. Everything I've watched sounds amazing. So that's where I'm at with it. I haven't bought anything that sounds crap. The only thing I ever had that was crap was the MPC. The red demon that haunted me for I don't know how long, dude. This thing haunted me for months. Did I play it? I tried to play it a couple times. I was like, this thing is stupid. I'm like, MPC is stupid. Now, is it stupid for someone else? No. Okay? It's not. Tons of people do cool stuff with it. Is it stupid for me? Yes. You want to know why? Because I went into the bathroom one night. I put the MPC on the sink. Okay? I took the big mirror and I tilted it down so I could see the top of my head, still see my expression, and I could see the MPC in front of me on the counter in the bathroom. I tried to play the MPC, and then I watched myself to see what I looked like playing it. I looked like a complete idiot. I was like, this thing ain't for me. And I was like, if you play this in front of anybody, they're going to look at you and be like, you look like an idiot. So I just stopped. I was like, all right, I'll just make movies with it. So I made haunting movies with the MPC. I took it around different locations all over America, filmed haunting videos with it. I did what Brock Lesnar says. When you come across a chicken, you make chicken salad. So I had a great time with the MPC at the end of it, and then I got rid of it. Once I got rid of it, I was like, oh, the relief that came over me, because it just wasn't for me. I don't do the kind of things that thing does, and I didn't like how I looked playing it. And that might sound weird, but I try to keep a pretty cool looking presence. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, let's move on. So anyways, the Sonicware Live and Evo. I'm trying to give Rourke his samples. I know Rourke's making sample packs, so I'm trying to give Rourke a very high quality. Now every stream I do, in the back of my head is, I know Rourke, one of the greatest synth renegades of all time, is watching in the background. Sometimes he's in, sometimes he's out. And I know that Rourke is like, I'm just looking for something for that sample pack. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start doing my shows. I'll do 2 shows in one. My show is naturally a synth show to talk about synthesizers, but also I'm running a second show, which is a sample generator show, strictly for Rourke to take samples of all the madness that might come out of this beautiful face and make sample packs for the amusement of the synth renegades. So I'm running 2 shows at once. And that's why I want to let you know why sometimes you think I'm just running a little bit wild, running my mouth. I'm not. I'm like, now I'm cutting into a little bit of a promo so Rourke can create his cool sample packs that he's making. And then back to the show. Hope that makes sense. Just a little disclaimer for anybody who was like, what is going on here? All right, so Sonicware Live and Evoke acoustic synthesizer. This thing is gorgeous, man. Came out. If anybody was in love with the Live and Ambient, which I do have, people were saying, man, it would be so great to have an Ambient Zero from Sonicware and then also get a Texture Lab from Sonicware. If we could just meld those 2 worlds, we'd have this beautiful granular with this super epic droning ambient, and then Austin Powers chest hair, dude. This is real deal, dude. I mean, come on. If any of you guys don't got chest hair, either 1, you shaved it, or 2, you don't drink enough sardine juice. So when I was growing up, all my old man uncle used to do is they'd open up their sardines. They'd be going to work. They'd make a sardine and pickle sandwich. Okay? So they'd be like opening up the sardines, cutting up the dill pickles, and then they'd throw the sardines from the can onto the bread with some dill pickles. And then I'd be always lurking around in the background being like, can I get one of those sandwiches, Pops? And he'd be like, no, these are for me and your uncle. And I'd be like, okay. And he's like, but here, drink this juice. It'll put hair on your chest. So I'd grab the little can that you pull the top off, full of sardine juice. Nature's fish sauce. Okay? Always had a little bit of olive oil, so it had a little oil to it. And then it was like, but then it was just pure salt. Electrolyte madness. The original Gatorade. Okay? Sardine-ade. You take the sardine can, knock it back. You get probably a shot glass and a half of sardine juice full of omega-3s. Insane. Full of vitamin E through the roof. Full of calcium through the roof. And then, best of all, the best part of the whole thing, full daily value of sodium. So now you can go out, man, you just chugging water, working out, you're drenched in sweat, and you're like, man, these sardines. So yeah. Sardine-ade, man. That's the original Gatorade. Then the Florida Gators. You can look this up. Fact check me. Florida Gators invented Gatorade back in the day. That's why the original color was orange. Because the Florida Gators, like chemistry lab, concocted this juice that they knew could basically restore all your electrolytes in your body while also like giving you a glucose injection due to the sugar in the Gatorade. So you got and then they put salt in it for the electrolytes. So it was like a salty, sugary power bomb. And it was orange. And then they marketed it and sold it. But originally that was Sardine-ade. Okay? There's kids at the hockey rink all the time. Can of sardines. Between shifts, you come in, your dad's reaching over the glass down to the bench being like, Samurai, Samurai. And I'd be like, what? And he'd be trying not to spill it, and he'd be handing me down like a can of sardines. And I'd pull my mask up, and I'd be like, thanks, Pops. Knock back the sardine juice. Second and third period, still rolling, no problem. Fast, everywhere. All right. Was a great success. Many gained fans with the approach that they took to soundscaping with the beautiful, beautiful Ambient Zero. And then they said, you know what? We're going to do the Evoke. We're going to fill it with granular. We're going to fill it with ambient madness. We're going to fill it with an acoustic flux capacitor. That's what they called it. I think it's down here. Yeah, right here, look. Yeah. So here it is. The son. Look at this. The Sonic. I'll highlight it so we can all laugh. This is the best. All right. Let's just read this copyright because it's hilarious. So, not only did they give you the insane droning capability of the Ambient Zero, they gave you the granular craziness of the Texture Lab. So what they do, everyone was like, man, make another one. So they made another one, but they put this in it. Evoke brings a brand new synth engine to the table, along with the two masterpieces they just did. The Acoustic Flux Oscillator takes synthesizers and synthesized acoustic instruments, slices them up into 256 fragments, blends them into 20 waveforms, and in the harmonic waveform generator, and then feeds them through a contraption called backtide, and finally blends them before sending them on their merry way. That sounds like a sewer system to me. Let me read that again. The acoustic flux oscillator takes in the synthesized acoustic instruments, slicing them up into 256 fragments, blending them with 20 waveforms into a harmonic waveform generator, and then feeds them through a contraption called the backtide, and finally blends them. I think a Japanese guy wrote a prompt and fed it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT thought he was talking about a sewer system and changed all the words to synthesizer related stuff. Evoke brings a brand new engine to the table, the Poop Flux Crusher. It takes poop particles, slices them up into 256 fragments, blends them with over 20 chemicals, and puts them through something called a poop cleaning generator. And then it feeds them through a contraption called the backtide. Finally, it blends them up and fluoridates them, and then filters them and puts them right back into your tap. Fresh water from Sonicware. Anyways, backtide behaves like a wave, ebbing back and forth as sound decays away. The resulting output can then be fed through a range of effects. So yeah, they got a ton of new effects. It's got reverb. They got a brand new reverb algorithm in there called Mirage. Can you only imagine what that sounds like? Work a box. Chest is too hairy. Listen. Your chest ain't hairy unless it's too hairy. Okay? Because no chest with hair, the only word for it, it's too hairy. Because the opposite of hairy, is no hair. So any form of chest hair is too hairy. But I'm a member of the Too Hairy Club, so I don't care. Let's see if we got a video. Let's hear this. Let's hear what this sounds like. Yeah, keep it in your pants there, Workbox. What the hell, bro? You never seen some chest hair before? You never seen some pure, unadulterated Canadian chest hair, dude? Gold and silver? If I took this and brought it to a alchemist, I'd leave with a load of coins. There's nothing like putting train tracks in ambient music. I mean, that's a winner right there. Add just a train tracks. I mean, there's something about a train. I think it's because you're going somewhere, but you know it's going to take way longer than it should. So you automatically like a little bit sorrowful. You're like, if I just drove, I could have got there quicker. If I wasn't such a cheap, broke boy, I could have took a flight. But instead, you took the train. So you already know it's way too long. You already know airplanes suck. Trains are like being on an airplane that sucks worse. It's slower. It's weirder. The people riding trains are weirder. And that's not a bad thing because I like weird people. I'm weird, so take it easy. But every day, that's what train makes you feel like. That's the word. When you see a train video, the word is this. Every day. Every day, that's like the feeling. Someone's like, you going to work, man? You're like, every day. It's like, bro, what'd you have for lunch? Salad again? Every day. It's like, dude, what'd you do after work? Did you play synthesizers and work out? every day. You thank God every day. Again. Oh. We gotta get a shot of that. Alright, so what do we got here? This is what we're looking at. We've got the acoustic instrument generator. We got that running out and into the blender, but then on the bottom we got the noise generator and the harmonic wave generator running back into the blender. We got a dual input into the blender, and then we got a backtod modulator. Damn. I'll tell you what, just reading that makes me curious. Makes me synth curious. Very synth curious. Let's continue. Rourke music, one life, two rails. That's so funny, dude. Oh my god. That's hilarious. So friggin' funny, man. I was thinking about your old left hand, right hand path in music. Yeah, what do you mean by that? Banana Rodder. What do you mean by that? How I always got an alternating current of yin and yang, good versus evil, you know, major, minor, horrifying, playful frequencies running through all the songs I make. Is that what you mean? Don't go messing with that needle and spoon. Exactly, Rourke. You'll be up before noon if you stay off the needle and spoon. Okay? That's the expression where I come from. You'll be up before noon if you stay off the needle and spoon. Wow. Esotericism of the... Yeah. Listen, man, the music industry is dark, dude. It just is. It's dark. That's why, to be honest, whenever you play synthesizers and you're spending time, those frequencies are affecting the vibration of every atom around you. So, like, when you play stuff and you're totally into the flow of playing synthesizers, that's why Dallas is cool. But even if you're a VST guy, no judgment. It's all good. But when you're a hardware guy, when you're in the flow of touching that synth and turning the knobs and putting pressure on that polyphonic aftertouch and sweeping that filter, okay? When you're in that kind of zone, it's nothing but the best of vibes spreading throughout the universe. That's why, like, I feel like synthesizer artists are warriors of sound. So are all musicians, but I just feel like the sonic variability that you can create in a small space with limited equipment, it's so many layers of insanity within these frequencies and things you're doing. Like, when you do this kind of stuff, I feel like it affects everything in such a positive way. But maybe you can make some dark stuff too, man, and use that crap for dark stuff, because when I played that Malevolent the other night, some of the sounds that came out of that thing, I don't know, man. I didn't sleep well after. They were so gnarly. Hans Volt told me the only way to describe some of the sounds that come out of the Malevolent is like you open the gates of hell and look straight in there, and this sound came back at you like the speed of light. That's the only way to describe it. His quote, not mine. That's enough of that. Anyways, that's the Evoke. What else we got up on the agenda? We already talked about this, didn't we? The Roland hand pan or mood pan or whatever. I think Banana Rodder 69 coined it as the Roland bed pan. Again, I don't really understand this. I don't know why they made this. I really can't see... I can't see anybody with any... You know what? I shouldn't say this, because I might actually buy this now that I think about it. Now that I think about this thing, it's almost like this thing was only made for a musician like me and you. because I know the kind of people listen to this show. Not only do we like experimenting with sound, not only do we like pushing sound to its ultimate limit to where sometimes it scares us, we also like instruments that are weird. And I don't know, man. I could see me having this on my lap as I'm dropping down on the HydraSynth Deluxe polyphonic aftertouch with 10 fingers, pulling 5 fingers off, whacking a little hand pan, sending some hanging drums through a Boss Space Echo delay, turned up on pretty high so it's reverberating through the whole room. Back to the HydraSynth, huge pad. It's the kind of sound you make with this thing, so I can see me fitting that into a song somewhere, definitely. So I'm actually changed my mind on the Roland hand pan, mood pan. I think it's cool. Not only that, I heard you can play effects through this thing. Not effects, sorry, synthesizers through this thing. I mean, let's check the copyright. With the mood pan, Roland presents an electronic instrument that combines meditation with modern technology. Okay. Unlike traditional hand pans, which are becoming increasingly popular, so they used AI to tell them what the most popular instrument is right now in Asia, and hand pan came up. So Takayushi or whoever was like, make a digital hand pan. This model uses digital sound generation to open up new creative possibilities. Visually, the compact device resembles its classic acoustic counterparts. Again, completely lost. What are the features? Let's go down. Digital Serenity. Oh my god. Another highlight is its ability to incorporate ambient sounds. Yeah, we'd hope so. Whatever. Where's the specs, boys? $609. I mean, this is what I said today. I was like, Roland Bedpan, or Arturia Minifreak, or HydraSynth Explorer, or Behringer 2600, or $600. But this is the part that got me in the copyright here. This is what I really was like, oh, I see what you're doing. Right here. Right here. This instrument combines meditation with modern technology. I can see this being a very cool product. If I owned like a wellness center, or I owned like a holistic nutrition center, or I owned a yoga studio, or somewhere where I did all this kind of like meditative like breath work and everything, I would probably pick one of these up. And then, because this here you can just play a sequence through, and I'm pretty sure right off your phone. You just say hand pan song and it plays through the speaker on the bottom. So it's actually a speaker too. You just lay. Looks cool. And then you get someone come over and you're like, hey, let me take all your worries away, okay? Sit down on the floor, cross-legged, relax, okay? You go over, you turn down the lights, light a few candles, close the blinds, walk over, pull up a pillow next to him, and you say, bro, put the hand pan in your lap here now. Now what I want you to do is just relax, let go, and just tap on it in different spots. Start super slow, tap, tap, tap. While you're doing that, get a feel of the sounds that are resonating. Get a feel of the ambience you're creating for yourself, because this is your story. This is you now. You're creating the soundtrack of your experience. Now, what I'm going to do is sit next to you, and I'm going to hum out a beat, and let your hands follow the hum of my beat. Dun, 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 dun. Okay? And then dude finishes up after about an hour and a half, gets up. He's like, Steve, dude, that was crazy, man. I feel so relaxed. And you're like, yeah, pick one up, Roland. $699, dude. You can do it every day at home. You don't have to come here no more. So that's what I think about that. All right, what else we got up here? Bing bong, bing boing. Bafanguli. Zencore reimagined. That's right. It's a good thing Samurai doesn't. It is a very good thing. Can you imagine? It would be out of control. Did analog synthesis touch Roland Corporation in a yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. But we'll finish off on this, man. The Behringer Lindrum. This is an article by Marcus Schmal. And he just basically says what I kind of did the whole beginning of the show to put a bookend on this whole thing. I guess I could even show you what he read, because everybody always asks me to show the receipts. Whenever I have a chat with Echo, Hans, machines, friends, parents, girlfriend, whenever I tell them something, and you let me know if you guys get this. I'll tell somebody something, and they'll be like, this is what they'll say. Really? And I'll be like, what do you mean, really? And they're like, really, man? And I'm like, what do you mean, really? I just told you something. I wouldn't tell you something if I didn't go look into it and like spend massive amounts of time thinking about it. Like, I'm talking massive amounts of brain power have gone into what I thought about, that I even remotely thought that I would share this information with you so we could hopefully have a discussion about it, so I could like hash out some things I'm thinking. And you look at me and say, really? I'm like, what? Yeah, really. Everything I say is really. And so anyways, then what happens? I'm like, all right, you know what, man? I'll take one really. But if you give me a second really, it's on. So what happens? Another situation rolls around, hanging out, blah, 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 blah. Really? I'm like, all right, I'll be back in a minute. I do about 24 hours of like compiled research, and then I'll just spam them all day. Here, 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 here. Voice text. Here, 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 here. 8-10 hours later, I've given them every article on the topic, every study on the topic, every YouTube video from both sides on the for and against the thing that I've been discussing. Then I go and give them the journal entries that I've written and thought about. And I'm like, here you go. I'm like, next time I tell you something, don't say really, man. Just be like, shit. All right, what do you think? I heard about this, and then you tell me something. That's what I think's cool. That's what I think. That's how conversations should go for me. Like, really? Really, man? Are you serious, dude? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. What do you mean, am I serious? Come on, man, are you serious, dude? You actually think that? And I'm like, I don't think it. I already did that part. I already thought about it. I already thought about it so much that now I'm ready and respect you enough, because I know you're smart, that I'm just gonna like say, hey, bro, what do you think of this? Or like, boom, 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 boom. Come on, man, you really? 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 Really, really. And now you're going to find out. All right, what's up, Colt? This is the one reason I started running my synths through guitar amps and cabinets, so the sound quality would touch some air. Yeah, I got to get some new speakers too, man. I got to get some big friggin' speakers. I got to get some big speakers. All right, Apollo's Free World. What's up, Apollo, man? I'm hoping you're going to do a stream soon, bro. I was really digging your new stream setup, Apollo Hanzo, man. Apollo Free World. I love what you had going on there, man. But you know what? I like you know that that's a lot of work, a lot of pre-setup and all that stuff. But it looks so good, man. I even told everybody I knew, I was like, man, Apollo Hanzo's stream, man, is that visual he's got going on is like eye candy, you know. And then when you're playing jams and stuff, you got this like perfect meld of like visual and what you're playing. It's like ketchup on a hot dog, bro. It's perfect. I loved it. Maybe tonight, man. Yeah, the Apollo Friday night stream. Love to see it, dude. Like I said, man, I was loving that new style visuals you had. It was very sweet. Gotta be that fluoride, bro. Really? What up, Samurai? What's up, Colt, baby? New speakers. You don't have any speakers. No, I don't use speakers. I only use headphones. People say I'm crazy, but all the sound goes right in my head. And then that goes directly to my body. So my brain makes sure this sound ain't going to mess me up. And then it puts it through my body. If I just let sound come at me from all over the place, not into that. Not into that at all. I like having it go to my brain first, and then my brain figures out what's needed, what frequencies, where to go, where to send them. I just want to be hit on all angles by all these random frequencies, so then I don't know if something's coming from here, here, here. I like that, but when I kind of... Which phones? Audio-Technica, always. Every track I've ever made in the Audio-Technica headphones sounds the same way it does in a car, and then it sounds the same way when I put it out of a speaker. It always sounds awesome. It always sounds amazing. I surprise myself all the time. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I think it's my Behringer mixers is really good. I got the Behringer Monopoly, which like pretty much unbeatable sound. The only thing that rivals it's the Korg Monopoly. I got the Behringer Model D. I got the Behringer Neutron. I got the Behringer RD6. I got the Behringer Booger Fooger pedal coming, the big muff. Okay, I got the Lin drum in a slot in the brain that I'm going to order. So, you talk about sound. I know about sound. Okay, I don't know everything, but I know a couple things, and they're all learned, trial and error. Nobody taught me. Nobody showed me. I just kind of figure it out, and then I actually don't care. So I'm like, sounds good to me. That's what I care about. I'm like, sounds good to me. Sounds finished to me. That's enough. Don't need to do anything else. Oh, one take, perfect. Oh, one take, throw it in the DAW, sprinkle something on it. Sounds perfect. You're in a good mood, you got some time, do a little bit extra. Sounds awesome. So, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but sounds good. Which aren't hooked up. What'd you say, Echo? They're not hooked up, dude. What are you talking about? They're always hooked up, dude. Because what you taught me this, Echo Craft. You're the one who told me that when the sound reverberates through your room, even though your synthesizers are turned off, they still oscillate from the sound waves. You told me that. So, you can say they're turned off, but you're the one who told me that your synths are always turned on. So, I've been living by that rule since day one. Let's see. Yep, so I think I got to shut this down, man. I got to go get some dinner. Then I might do a coffee shop stream later. It's summertime, baby, and we got a lot to look forward to. And we got this beautiful Lin drum, but, you know, this stole the show today. Am I right? This stole the show. This beautiful BM-15M Murf Box. A Moger Foger. Virtual Pelter Clown with some depth. I'm waiting for the Booger Fooger, so I already pre-ordered it. Oh yeah, and the BUYDAY Friday. I pre-ordered the Mooger Fooger, so I'm getting this pedal 100%. I got the PWM Mantis. I'm very close. This close. I'm just waiting for the right deal. And I'm also thinking about picking up a new microphone. Most likely the Behringer BM1. And I'll probably buy the next Behringer synthesizer that comes out as well. And then I know there's one more thing coming out after that, which I'll probably buy that too. So, BUYDAY Friday, baby. Take it easy.